Hello, and thank you for joining me tonight. I go by Lune and this is a kind of interesting video. I mean, I think it is anyway. It's going to be a healing session, a session to support you. I mean, that's what all of these are. They are things that I can create that help me to do my purpose, you know, fulfill my purpose in some way, or if you can imagine that kind of thing. But they're meant to be used as tools for you, to serve you, to help you, to assist in a holistic sort of practice. So while these Reiki sessions, these energy sessions can be extremely transformative, they certainly require your participation. And by that I mean your discipline, your implementation of new ideas, or the awareness to catch yourself in an old pattern, an old way of thinking, and say, no, I'm going to change that. So for those of you who are always wondering and making suggestions to why I must communicate so often before my videos, is that in a session, if you book a Reiki practitioner, you're typically going to have to talk to them for a bit. You know, you're going to have to share and connect. It's not like you get on the table and you leave. Like, that's massage, you know. It's like a different thing. You don't just like walk in and lay down, get an energy clearing and go. Like, what point would that be? So, you know, I feel like I'm gonna have this disclaimer all the time, but just to be aware, this is a tool for you. This is something to help you, whether it helps you to think differently or just relax and just, you know, take off the day and like let something affect you in a positive way if you're open to it. So with that said, let's move on. Alright, so this energy session that we're going to do tonight, of course combined with ASMR, is with the intention of, it's difficult for me to put into words, but the new us, to step into a new pattern, a new identity, a new better version of ourselves, a way in which we're changing every day. We're changing constantly. We're different as we go along, through every experience that we have, through every awareness or every challenge. We become different, you know. We become a different version of ourselves, you could say. You could look at it that way. And if you're active in that, you can be constantly improving. You can obtain the life that you want, believe it or not. And some of the things we're going to have to do here is purify. There needs to be a purification of doubt, of limitations, of habits that might not support that ideal us that we so long to be, or that we see like as if we see this success in the future, or this ideal dream home, this dream career, this dream relationship, this whatever it is. If we're not elevating ourselves, we're not really working towards it. You know, you could look at it that way. So this Reiki session, this energy session tonight, is meant to help us in our periods of transformation, which could be considered every day, but we're going to look into some specific, like, no, you know, like, no, that's not me anymore. This is me. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I've reinvented myself over the years, you could say. And I will mention that I have a very good friend, a teacher, someone I admire, who I'm working with. I'm going to probably mention this a few times over, you know, the next few videos, and then I'll probably leave you guys alone. But if you're interested in looking into the topic of identity further, my friend Lavinia, or Blanca Bayer, and I are creating another project. It's called Emerald Paradigm. I'll put a link to it somewhere if you want to check it out, if you want to dig into this a little deeper. But let's move on. So essentially, what you can expect out of this video, besides just some, you know, ASMR sounds and relaxation, is hopefully, well, my intention is to give you some tools to rewriting yourself, to relieving limitations and doubts, breaking down a lot of barriers, you know, giving ourselves a lot of opportunity for change and growth here. So if this is something you're working towards, this could be a very powerful tool for you. To give you a little backstory on my process of rewriting myself, and you know, you're gonna have to first understand that you're gonna have excuse me, you're gonna have people who challenge you, who try to make you feel like you're being inauthentic by trying to improve yourself. You know, I certainly had some people not like attack me personally or anything like that, and like verbally or anything, but you know, I'm pretty perceptive and aware of, you know, just outer energies anyway. And as you evolve, as you release something that a group of friends, say, or a family are still attached to, are still doing and involved with. So let's just use some very clear, you know, things as examples, but please, like, use your mind, use your heart to see if this resonates with you in an area of your life that may be different from what I'm speaking on. But let's say for me, where I grew up in Jersey, it was a kind of boring area. There was a lot of drugs, there's a lot of alcohol, and all of my relationships up until a point were heavily, alcohol was a very big part of it. Whether it was, I mean, certainly things that we did together. Like, I had boyfriends that would just buy me booze for my birthday, and I was like under 21, and that was to be like my gift, was this like bottle of rum or something. So booze was like very, very in my family, you know. Like, I don't want to say alcoholism, that's not necessarily where it was, but booze was around like a lot, and I drank a lot. I wasn't healthy, I wasn't making good choices, I wasn't getting anywhere, I had like terrible finances and just all kinds of stuff. And I'm not blaming the booze, but the booze was something that, it was like an escape. It was a, well, you know, I'm gonna have a drink after work. It's like you go to work, you get done, you have a drink, and then you're like done, right? You're not gonna go write a book necessarily, or, you know, improve your health, or start a new practice when you're at happy hour. You know, you're probably not. You're probably gonna eat some food and, you know, either continue drinking or just go home and go to bed. You know, like, I mean, that was me anyway. I'm not trying to say all of us, I'm not trying to group us all in. So those are things that we need to look at. When alcohol is a big part of your friendships, for me, and this is again just an example, a big part of your relationships, taking a step back from that was something I really need to do. And it wasn't even super clear at the time. Like, wasn't like, oh my god, that's it, I have to give this up. Nothing like that. It was just an awareness that grew in me, and I was like, oh, I don't even want that, because I'm filling my life up with other things. Now, when I have those friends who, you know, continued to go to the bar, or like that was still a big part of their, you know, what they did, it was like, you know, you feel the energy of like, oh, what does she think she's doing now? What is, you know, oh, you're different now. Oh yeah, well, I knew you back then. It's like, good, fine, whatever. You know, you're just gonna have to expect, and I don't mean expect the worst by all means, but just be prepared for the fact that as you elevate, it's not going to hurt anyone, but sometimes it causes people to look and reflect within them too. And if they see that you're improving and they're still doing something that you used to do and like you've given up, and they might have this like inner deep thought, like deep inside, that they should do something like that too, they might resist, and they might just target you in their minds as like, oh yeah, she's a flake, or she's, you know, oh, she thinks she's so spiritual now or something, or whatever it is for you. So just try to keep that in mind in terms of, it's okay, you know, by you being true and improving yourself and being authentic and becoming into alignment with what is right for you, you set out a wave of energy, and it might be uncomfortable to some, but it's going to be for the best of like all humanity in some like really cosmic, you know, out there kind of way. So that's one thing to please keep in mind. And that gives you a little story then. And what did I do? Well, you know, I looked at my Facebook even, which I really dislike Facebook. I don't really use it particularly much, even still, but I'd go through my pictures, and it was like all these pictures of me with like booze in my hands. I looked like a freaking alcoholic, like all the time, and they'd be like terrible, like bad lighting, bad angles, and I would just look red, and everybody looked like a mess, you know, God bless, like I don't mean it as a judgment, but it's like, is this what I want? Is this what I want to see myself as? Because when you look at a picture of yourself, that's how you're going to see yourself, you know what I mean? So check out your Instagram, check out the history of your social media, untag your ass and that kind of stuff. If you have to, like I did, I just canceled that account, or I just didn't touch it anymore and made it as like private as it possibly could. And I started a new account under a different name, and that's what I went with. So I'm just trying to give you some examples of things to chew on in terms of when we're rewriting ourselves. Don't look back, you know, it's okay. Those things happen. I was that person. I was that girl up until 4 a.m., 5 a.m. taking tequila shots, hanging out with the bar after it closed. Like, that was me. And I love myself then too, you know, like I can look back and be like, girl, you're crazy, but you know, I love you. It's not a judgment. It's just that I don't have time for that crap. Like, and it wasn't benefiting me in any way necessarily. So just something to think about, you know, what's going on there. So I'm going to move into the idea of working with a planner for this rewriting of ourselves. Now, full disclosure, I got this for free. But you know I do, you know, share small businesses on my channel. So I thought this was a really great fit. And it actually helped me to inspire this video. And the creator has given us a coupon code for this, which I think brings it down from 17 and change to 13 and change, or you know, about 18 to 14, which, you know, I'll show a little bit about this to you for sure. There's also some like free downloads, like an ebook, a vision board, and a more annual planner. But this is called The Path. I really like the design. I'm going to show it to you. It's just this little like maze kind of looking design, but I love it. It has like a kind of Egyptian or just ancient, I want to say, vibe to it. Going to share with you some things in here because these are really good ideas for rewriting yourself and manifesting this like ideal you, this new you. One of the things I like so much about a planner like this, and this one in particular, is it doesn't have dates. I will constantly buy planners that have dates, and before long, you know, I'm like, wow, I didn't use that, and now it's like this complete waste, and I'm not really a big fan of that. I think that taking the time to write something out, such as putting the dates in for something, putting in your goals and all this stuff, is very, it's like abracadabra. It's like creating something. It's the start. It's like the roots sprouting from the idea, the thought. So I really like the idea of writing something. And in fact, like my partner and I, he'll like send me like Google invites to stuff, and I won't even accept them from him, and he gets annoyed because I like to put things into my calendar because that's how I remember them more. But this isn't that kind of calendar for me. Now, I want to say there's a freedom here. We can use this to focus on our career, our relationships. You can choose whatever you want here, which I think is so interesting. So there's like a mission page, some things to think about, like who do I want to be? Why? How do I want to be? Where do I want to be or live? What for? What's the purpose for me to be there? And although these are so like practical, there are things that we don't always think about when we're taking a planner, like a daily planner, in terms of the tasks we need to get done, the meetings, the appointments, the, you know, that kind of thing. So having a planner that is more for the manifestation of this you that you're creating, whether that's you in your career, your spirituality, you as a better parent or friend, or anything that you would like to work on. I love the freedom here. There's like a mission statement. I love that there's goals, personal, professional, 20 years, 10 years, like long-term goals, and it goes even further. A little commitment contract, which this seems so like, you know, I don't want to say it's cutesy, but it could possibly, this type of thing, be seen as cutesy, you know. Oh, I'm gonna write my little contract for myself. But there is something very powerful in writing down your mission statement, your, like, what you're promising yourself, you know, and not, you know, here we can get a little into the concept of over planning, which I think will lean too far into the left brain hemisphere there, too far into the practical nature. So while, you know, it seems to be contradiction, but it's really the blending of both of these. So writing down your tasks for the day that you want to get done, sure, make a list. We need to remember, you know, we like to cross things off. I completely understand, but there has to be, for the purpose of our evolution, our growth, our ascension, if we're using the planner concept, there has to be a reason to why we're doing this. You could look at this as, you know, we'll take the career aspect, right? Or health, you know, let's go with health. That's an easy one to talk about. I want to be healthy. I want to be fit. Maybe I want to gain weight. Maybe I want to lose weight. But it's unfair for us, you know, unless you're a bodybuilder and like this is your, like, your thing. Like, you know, I'm not trying to pigeonhole anyone, but just as a conversation here. If we're writing down every calorie, if we're obsessive over our exercise, if we're looking into the future to say, okay, by September 15th, I'm going to weigh 125 pounds, or I'm going to gain, you know, X amount of pounds. Like, yes, it's nice to have a goal, an idea, but it can't be so precise, it can't be so narrow, and it can't put too much pressure on ourselves, so that if that exact goal isn't met, then it like throws us off. I don't know, there's just, I'm not really articulating that perfectly, but I hope you can see what I mean there. So then it has this page of like goals for the year, and these are all beautiful things to think about. Again, this could be your career. I'm planning to use this more for my spiritual growth. I'm in a very intense process right now, and although I have certainly moved over into being, you know, this version of myself more truly, I feel a major shift coming again. Major shift, in case you misheard me. A major shift coming again, and I would love to document it. I would love to plan. I would love to work in this more balanced kind of way. So here we're almost taking the concepts of like Pisces and Virgo, or Mars, Aries and Libra. Like, it's like this blending between things that I think is just so interesting. In fact, it might be very useful for you if you're in a process of spiritual growth for yourself to play into looking into your north and south node positions and incorporate that balance and harmony between those two signs. So just a little tidbit there. So anyway, we'll move in. Sorry, it's a bit loud. So you can write down your dates, you can write down your stuff, lessons learned for the month, goals for upcoming month. It gives you a space for the goals for the week, what you're grateful for, what you'll improve, and maybe some rewards or treats you can give yourself. So anyway, I think this is a great idea, and there's actually a really cute card at the end. There's also a few pages of note taking for each month as well. But it has these really sweet little mandalas in the back, or floral designs, floral mandalas. Then I love the idea of taking a break and like working, like if you're planning, if you find yourself writing a bit and you're like, oh, I'm getting a little intense here, because there needs to be that energy, that action-based planning type of energy, but to take a break and doodle, I think, is a great way to balance that when that happens. So it's just an idea to document your transformation, document the things, and plan and set, plan and set goals for the things that you want to embody. So if you're looking to, become a better partner, even if you don't have your match yet, if you're not in that relationship, becoming a better partner so that when those things arrive, it's like this person matches me because I have elevated, and I'm on this level now. I'm up here. So I think that those are really cool. Yeah, so moving along, I will put the link and everything below. Like I said, it's like a nice discount code, and I hope that you guys resonate with that because I thought it was really cool. I've been in touch with the creator, obviously, and she's cool. She was an event planner, I believe. I hope I'm saying that right. And she's created this to kind of incorporate that like more unlimited goal attaining, the things that break the ceilings for us, which I think is just so beautiful, and I love to see that around and available to everyone. Alright, so moving along, we're going to move into our session. I'm going to start with my candle. I'd like to just mention that just because you're changing everything doesn't mean you have to give up your relationships. And what I mean by that is, just because my friends maybe go to the bar a lot might mean that I would spend less time with them at that point in my life as I was shifting. But I don't know, it's like, it's not that I'm better than them. We're not better, we're just moving along, and sometimes we just have our own paths, we have our own stuff going on. So sometimes there's such value and purpose in hanging around, like catching up, showing someone, look, this is where I am, without a judgment, without necessarily all the humble brags, but from a place to say, I feel much better. I feel better after I stop drinking. I feel healthier. My skin is better. I have more energy to put towards my creative endeavors or my career or my family or whatever. So, alright, so I chose this very heart-based candle here. And we're just going to put an intention into it. To assist with our connection here, and put some energy into the candle, and as it burns, the energy, goes off and reaches any of you who are open to receiving, to create a new us, to rewrite our story, to develop and grow and release blockages and limitations, release limiting thoughts. Oh, I can only do this much. Oh, I will always have this debt. Oh, there's always suffering. Like, whatever the concept is, I'm unlucky, I'm cursed. No, no, we're not. Let's release that. So through our purification session, or part of the session, we will focus on that. And what we ask to bring in is expanded mind frames, action to follow and carry out the mannerisms, the behavior, the discipline of this version of ourselves that we are creating. It's a new life. Look, it made like a little heart. I don't know if you can see. There's like a cute little heart burn there. I don't know if you could see. Anyway, right there. There's like a little heart shape. So, okay. Oh, how funny. As we were speaking of purification, that match started to light. The sage that I had set. The sage that I had set over here in tea. That's a lot of stuff going on for not even lighting it myself. So we're bringing out the sage to purify. The sage leaf. Sage is probably, I would say, the most purifying smudge, and I have one of my new favorite feathers, which is an ethically harvested turkey feather. And we're gonna purify. We're gonna release doubt, release fear, release patterns, beliefs, ideas, anything of like a chain, a bond that keeps us in a place that we wish to improve on. So it's very smoky. It's very powerful. Oh. How about the release as well of doubting ourselves, of constantly feeling like I need to just get here. After I get this, I can start that. After I get this, I'll think about that. While, of course, things come to us in steps and levels, and I do see a great value in taking those steps for authenticity with ourselves. But if it's anything that's holding you back, and your higher self is aware that no, that's not what needs to happen, we can get this started right now, there's nothing holding us back here, then let's release that pattern, that repetition of thinking that we need to be better or have more experience. Experience will come as we act. It's like that thing, like there's never a great day to start your diet. There will always be a party or a birthday or, something going on. Just because this is an ASMR video, we're gonna play with this feather a little. So I'm just gonna brush away anything inhibiting you, whether that is self-imposed. And please keep in mind that all limitations, in a sense, are self-imposed. If you believe that they are inhibiting you, you could chew on that a little. Just brushing it away. We are born into this world with a certain amount of resources. Some of us have many, many resources available to us right away, and some of us feel like we don't. But the point is that as you get older, as you become more aware, as you tap into a bit more of creative thinking, as your world expands through experience or travel or reading or anything. And at a certain point, we have the ability to do whatever we want. You know, I'd like to say that we have that in childhood, but I don't think I can say that and feel very genuine about it. Did bring out some stones. The first one being Kambaba Jasper, which is, as you know, one of my favorites, and it's great for release. It's great to meditate with this at the back of your head, which you've heard me say before, I'm sure. Because I want us to connect with our hearts, because our transformation needs to feel authentic. It needs to resonate with us on a heart level, because if we have any doubt about what we're doing or our motives or the reasons behind it, it's not really going to assist us in that regard. So I brought out this incredible heart healer, which is actually shaped like a heart, if you can see. And this has popolite, calcite, druzy, and probably something else. It's a collection of different things. And it's stunning, and I love the way it feels in my hand. So I'm just gonna hold this for a moment and picture you standing right in front of me, right here in front of me. And I have to trust that those of you who are willing will feel this incredibly stabilizing, awakening, I want to say, feeling of love that the stone sends to me, or allows me to feel more easily, and I am sending it to you. Like a bubble or orb, which is just above your head. And as you agree to receive it, it opens slowly, like a bubble popping in slow motion. And this cascade of love and this awakening of inner passion, inspiration, a feeling of readiness, a feeling of wholeness just washes over you. It feels both calming and exciting at the same time. I have to be gentle with this stone. Alright, so I'm just gonna assemble these stones together. because I want us to pull these ideas of our ideal nature, our ideal lifestyle, our ideal relationships, or how we're able to conduct our lives and create. I brought a very special piece that I have to thank a certain someone for. This is a piece of black mica that a viewer turned client turned friend has sent me. And it is my favorite crystal face shape, which is an Isis shape. You may recognize it from my logo, which I've adopted into my logo, but by all means, I do not own the shape. It is found in nature. So I want you to close your eyes and picture this ideal situation for yourself. Picture your perfection, your grace, your capability, every resource at your disposal, your patience and humble, appreciative, grateful nature. Think of how much money you want to make in a year, perhaps, and triple it. Set your goals higher. And perhaps, let me correct myself a little here, but let's erase the number altogether and think of why we want that money, or what we would do with it, and instead focus on that. If it's travel, if it's philanthropy, I hope I'm saying that right, our generosity, the freedom it brings, focus on that. Invoke that feeling of freedom, of abundance. Think of your relationships and how you conduct yourself, how you're patient, how you have healthy boundaries, the love, the laughs, the stability. Think of your health, your divine perfection, and carry it forward into you as you are now. Magnetize it to you and bring it forward from the astral dimension of your mind, of whatever you can envision is existing on some plane. And as you magnetize yourself to it, through feeling, through these grateful feelings and excitement, they begin to blossom in your life. So, thank you, Andre, for this gorgeous piece and the many others you have sent me. But these are always very, very special. Piece of, I'm going to pronounce it wrong most likely, but it's an aura treated piece of tanzine, I believe. So it's been treated with gold and something that rhymes with indigo, like and I can't remember, but it's a metal and it has like the word indigo in it. It's really beautiful. I brought this out to stimulate your third eye, to help you with that vision. So hold the most beautiful images, the limitless, they don't end. It doesn't end. There is no ultimate, because from there it's infinity, it's infinite. You can keep going. Enjoy that. See yourself in these gorgeous places, these incredible experiences and connections. See yourself making the best choices easily through your heart's discernment, through your gut's intuition, through your senses of all senses, physical and astral. See yourself, and I'm going to go to your solar plexus a little here. See yourself acting from this place of divine perfection, which sounds so lofty, I know, but you being the best that you can day after day. And sometimes our best is our worst in realization. What I mean by that, sometimes our bad days can become the days of the most growth if we master the art of extracting the gold from the situation. So keep that in mind. You may hear me talk about that a lot lately, but it's a powerful process. It's mastery. Just get a little closer. Right on your eye, so gently, like barely, not touching you, just barely off the surface. So gently. And this I'm focusing to clear any old images of yourself. Draw a picture of this new you. Get a freaking glamour shot done if you want or whatever, but focus on the new you. Just release that old identity, the old life, the way you saw things if they ever didn't serve you, and focus on stepping into this field, this new you. It's so doable, guys. I just want you to know how powerful it is. I'm just going to anoint you with some palo santo as a blessing, just to energetically send this blessing to you. On your crown, the hairline, really, not precisely the crown. And this is done without judgment, without a dictation or guidance, only love and me sending you this image of perfection for yourself. And I'm going to adjust my focus quickly, but this is a really pretty and powerful chakra wand, which has 7 stones combined And I'm going to be using this, and I got this from Hype Priestess, so thank you, Lacey, for always having awesome stones. Okay, let me hello, welcome back to my face. Alright, so you don't need necessarily a chakra stone, wand. I love it though. I have brought this with me many places because of the simplicity and having one thing to help me feel balanced, to use in sessions, especially if I'm traveling and I can't really bring a ton of stuff with me. I really enjoy these, and I just love it. So I have amethyst and looks like sodalite, lapis, green aventurine, I want to say yellow and orange calcite, and then a red jasper at the end. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to use this to comb through your aura actually. So we're just balancing all the chakras on a more superficial level, like if your chakra of your heart is in your body, but it kind of comes, it's a vortex, so it extends a bit. So that's what we're focusing on here. Just dragging it down your body very slowly. It's creating harmony, filling in the gaps of certain areas, perhaps. Whatever you need, your higher self can use these tools, these stone tools, these cosmic and earthy, can't think of the right word, but tools, sorry for that, to just give you anything you might need or be lacking and help to create this balance in your etheric body. And the more I'm telling you, man, like the work you do in your etheric body makes a huge difference when you're in a time of transformation. So please remember, if you're open to it, to take salt baths, burn your sage, wear stones with intention to protect you or to balance you, and play with your aura and energy through your thoughts, through your visualizations. And as we move on to our Reiki session, or the more typical Reiki, the main focus here is empowerment. To empower you to embrace comfortably, to remove awkward energy. But if it does come up, laugh it off. Just know we all feel awkward when we, sometimes get something new or try something new. That will fade so quickly because it is your authentic self. And although a year can seem like a long time, once these things are implemented, after a year you look back and you're like, oh, damn, I was working on myself and it paid off. So, actually, I want to do it this way. Center myself a little. Feel myself as whole, powerful. I don't know, like 200 times bigger than what I actually am in this human form. It can be playful to play with your size and your visions. And just send this to you, this feeling of limitation, removal, of blockage, busting, of allowing that to all flow down. So just flowing down you, this cosmic energy, just washing it away into the earth to be processed. And to focus on empowerment. And it is not from me, but it is through me, if you can understand that. And I must be in alignment for that to happen the most effectively. So that's why I'm focusing so much on my own alignment right now. I feel excited. I feel like the only thing that puts limits on me is myself. And that can be hard to handle at first, you know? Like, I would never hold myself up. I would never have done that. I would never, on purpose. Of course not. We were brought up thinking that there were limits to things, and there truly aren't. We're in a new era. We're in a new stage. You are in a new stage. If you have stumbled across this video, I can promise you, you are in a new stage for yourself. Okay, so just setting this intention now to empower every nook and cranny in your being, in your body, in your cells, to master your life, your feelings, your intentions, your day to day. To take control of every situation by either hyper your focus or remove your focus. If it doesn't serve you, remove your focus. If you're caught on something, remove your focus. Come back to it later. If we're right in the middle of everything, we're not going to see. We're not going to have the best vantage point. Take a step back. Analyze without judgment. Be open. Give things space to complete, to inspire, to manifest in ways you could have never planned for necessarily, but manifesting exactly what you wanted. Career, relationships, money, family life, travel, lifestyle, health, all of it. Expect to reach those levels easily, comfortably, gracefully, and in such a way that just by being true to yourself, you understand what an impact that makes on every person you come across. Remember to smile at people and share that resonance with others and brighten their day. If you want spiritual growth, see yourself as that master. Be humble. Know that every master is always still a student as well, but see yourself with those abilities. If you want to lucid dream, if you want to astral travel, if you want to tap into your telepathic abilities or your ability to channel, see yourself doing those things and know that you can and you do and you will. Keep a journal, a planner of your progress. Take care of your energy and your thoughts. Reject which does not support this new you. I'm saying new you, but you know, it's like true you. Might be a better way to say it. side, this side, combining and harmonizing the feminine and masculine energies for your intuition, feeling, sensing things out, and your ability to carry them forward. And fluff up your aura and really pull up, like I'm pulling up roots from the earth. Energetic roots to cover you in this very earthy energy, because we have to remember that as cosmic as we are, as much of a spiritual being as we are on this plane, and we need to honor and revere our Mother Matter, our Mother Earth, because she is the one that provides in the material realm. This is her realm. And it's not to say that the Cosmic Father doesn't have you know, when he's saying it, it certainly is incredibly helpful, incredible to work with. But we have to remember that as we're on this spiritual and awakening path, that the earth is so very important as well. I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope that it serves you very well in your progress, and I'm so happy to read your comments always. I'm so sorry I haven't really had the time and capacity to reply to everyone, but I do read them all. I do, and you know, thank you. Like, please do leave the messages, because even if I might not reply directly, someone else might answer a question, or you give an opportunity to create community in this space, which I am so incredibly grateful for that building. Thank you, patrons this month. Oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. Thank you, supporters, clients, those who have donated. Like, truly, you fuel what I'm doing here. You're certainly a very big part of it, and I just hope you know how grateful I am. And for everyone who has subscribed and everything, you know, just thank you so much. You are helping me to fulfill my purpose, and I'm so grateful. From the bottom of my heart, as always, namaste.